What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? There we go right there. Yo, shout out to everybody already logged in with us early on time. We're going to get this thing started in just a few minutes. I promise y'all. I promise. Thank you. Y'all could be doing anything in the world right now. You're talking about watching Netflix, Hulu. There's a lot of new shows out. You could be catching up on the Jordan doc, but you're right here with us, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm going to wait one more minute before we get this show started, and we're going to turn things up, all right? But right now, if you can't share this link with your friends, if you know anybody wants some knowledge, we dropping gems right now. We giving back to all those out there that's trying to expand their minds during this quarantine shutdown. So please share the link right now. You know, this is all family right here. That's right. That's right. And without further ado, let's get this thing started, y'all. Welcome to the Maximize Your Influence virtual panel, helping inspiring media personalities and influencers build, grow, and monetize their brand. I am your host, DJ Damage, at The Real DJ Damage, television host, radio personality, podcast personality, 1/3 of Hollywood Unlocked. I really wanted to put this together for everybody out there that's been feeling down and been feeling stagnant during this quarantine. I wanted to reach out and give back, and my friends helped me do that as well, and I really appreciate them. And I want to thank my panelists first before I even introduce them. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you for believing in my vision. And without further ado, I want to introduce everybody. So I want y'all to rock out with me one time. Oh, it's getting serious, y'all.
Yo, yo.
Hold on. I got some intro music for y'all. Here we go.
All
I need y'all to do is stay involved, stay engaged, and ask questions. I want to introduce our panelists from Maximize Your Influence. Here we go right now, man. She's a TV host, culinary personality, currently hosts Struggle Gourmet on Fuse TV. I want to welcome Dariani Santana. What up?
Hey, thank you
Big
for that
facts.
music, Damage.
Look, I got to do it. Ambassador for Combs Enterprises, veteran host, radio personality for DTL Radio Nationwide, DTLR Radio Nationwide. My boy, King Flux of Forbes. What's good, bro?
What's up? Thanks for having me, Damage.
Of course, of course, of course. Now, she's a fitness entrepreneur and influencer, proud champion sponsor, athlete. I need y'all to welcome Sadia Simply Tone.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
Now, she's an author. She's a life coach. She's the owner of Oh So Radio, representing D, the D in the house. Give it up for Randy Rosario.
Hello.
Appreciate you. Of course. Is he here? Is my boy in here? There he is, man. He's a DJ. He's a culture forecaster, media personality. The reason you know people like Designer, Young and May, Bobby Schmurder. Give it up for my boy DJ Punch.
Hey.
Yeah, boy. And we're not done, man. I got to give it up for my boy. He's a creative consultant. He's a digital strategist for the stars. He's my personal friend. Give it up for Malachi Fuller in the building.
Oh, yeah, really.
Wait a minute. We're not done. Last but certainly not least, he's a personal development coach. He's a sales executive. He's a young entrepreneur. Like I said, last but definitely not least, give it up for Detrice Mosumo.
Hey. Thanks for having me on here.
I appreciate y'all being patient with me with that intro, man. I want to thank you, everybody, once again for being a part of the virtual panel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm ready to have some fun.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it. Everybody feeling good on the panel? Y'all feeling good?
Feeling great. Feeling great.
Got y'all refreshments?
And a dope.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. CD, I think I kind of see you all the way over there. I see you. I see you.
You see me?
I see you all the way over there. Okay, so let's get this thing started. So my first question is, how's everybody been holding up and staying creative during this quarantine shutdown? And Punch, I'm going to start with you, and then I want everybody to answer. How have you guys been staying creative during this quarantine shutdown?
I've been watching everything that everybody doing. I'm just, I'm paying attention closely. I tell everybody like this, observation is my #1 angle. You get what I mean? I just didn't want to be like everybody else, just throwing up haymakers. I see some people doing lottery. I see some people doing bingo. They doing the squares, trying to get money. They do an interview. I see a lot of scattering. So what I've done is observe. I'd rather put up the right shot than too many. That's just how I'm giving it up. You get what I'm saying?
I love the sports analogy right there, man. Detrice, how you been holding up during this quarantine? How you been staying creative?
Man, how I've been staying creative is by, studying a different angle than punch. But what I've been doing is I went back to history every single time, something like this has happened in society. And, all the people were winning, all the people that were losing, what were they doing? So I'm just studying, the people that went through a situation like this before.
Absolutely. Now, Sadia, I've been seeing you real active on social media. So tell us how you've been staying creative during this quarantine shutdown.
Well, yeah, I've just been, so as you guys know, everybody has been stuck in the house. So I've just been doing home workouts, live workouts, just giving people motivation and stuff because no one has had anywhere to go. So yeah, just live workouts, home workouts, a lot of just access to me. Whereas beforehand, it's so easy to just like constantly post. Now they're like getting live interactions. They're able to ask questions, they're able to like purchase things. So just giving to the community.
Awesome. Dariani, how about you? How have you been staying creative? What you been doing? What you been working on?
Two things. Well, one, I do a lot of comedy. And comedy comes from a dark place. And I think every part of this quarantine corona situation is very dark and sad. So I make light of it by making funny videos and stuff like that. And also, I cook. So I cook because it's therapeutic for me. And also I give a lot of people recipes of making a lot of cooking videos because a lot of people went out and bought a lot of stuff at the supermarket, but they didn't actually know how to turn it into a meal. So that's what I've been doing.
That was me.
Go ahead, man. Mal, how's you been doing it, man? What you been up to? You're never not working. That's the thing I love about Mal. He's never not working. What you been up to, bro?
Man, honestly, bro, just studying the game more. You see how everybody started moving to TikTok. Everybody, is back on social. So just understanding the game and learning, from a content and a brand consultant standpoint, just figuring out, ways to monetize, how to help clients through this period and find ways to make money in the house. And then, build engagement for yourself. So I just been studying the game, working nonstop, and then working on stuff too, getting better in the kitchen, working out,
Hey.
body, all that. So yeah.
And Flex, bro, Flexer, how have you been using this time, man? I want to ask you, Flexer, during this downtime, have you felt discouraged at all, or has it motivated you more?
I would say the first half of this quarantine. So the early part, I was discouraged because my mom actually caught the COVID because she's 32 years on the front line as an X-ray technologist at Brookdale Hospital in Brooklyn, New York, where they've been getting a lot of CNN attention and whatnot. She's one of those nurses that got the COVID early on. So my creative juices was just off. Like I was really on state because, sometimes, and I know that you guys could probably relate, when something's going on with family, sometimes it's serious enough to take you out of your juices and your flow. So I would say the first half I was discouraged, but then as soon as she got better and said that she's feeling 100% and she's going back to work actually this Monday, and now it's on. Now I'm doing my research. So everything.
No, and I want to piggyback off of that, right? Because we all know success starts with having the right mindset. And a lot of people feel defeated right now. In the beginning of this quarantine, you were going through personal situations. You felt probably a little defeated. Can y'all name a time where you felt defeated? And after that, how did you overcome that feeling of being defeated? And Randy, I'm going to come to you.
Oh, that's dope. Great question. A time I felt defeated probably was like during the quarantine. So not only are we quarantined, but I'm pregnant as well. And like I was, super regular, super low risk, super healthy pregnancy. And then in April, it's like, oh, you're actually dilating. And if you don't go have this surgery done, you might lose your baby and just a bunch of stuff. So it was just like, whoa, wait a minute. So I found myself having to apply the things that I teach, which are meditation and, just staying in the right mindset, goal setting, and giving yourself affirmations, giving yourself that space to feel and to, kind of go through the motions, but not staying there. I always say it's okay to feel however you're going to feel. Just don't stay there too long. Because the longer you stay in a down place, the longer it's going to take you to get out of it.
No, absolutely. Detrice, I know you're you help people through a lot of this, man. What's the time you felt defeated personally, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, man, that's a great question too. And one of the times that made me feel defeated in my life was actually when I dropped out of college.
Mm.
So I had dropped out of college just because, finances were tight at the time and I didn't want to put that burden on my parents. And I didn't even tell them I dropped out either. I just thugged it out at college for like 6 months. So I just thugged it out of college for 6 months. But one of the things that really, got me to keep persevering and keep moving on was just looking at other people's stories, right? And knowing that I'm not the only person that goes through, depression, bad times, and knowing that other people were there with me. And I just kind of studied the people who overcame challenges. So I just got into reading, I got into watching YouTube videos, and I just got into, being around more positivity.
No.
So my suggestion to people is just, do whatever you can to be around inspiration, because that's going to make you want to move, right? So you want to be around more inspiration and things that inspire you.
No, absolutely. And Punch, man, this reading your story, I was reading your bio, seeing that you help people like Designer, Young and May, Bobby Schmurder kind of blow up, and, they kind of got their notoriety from your help. But with that, when you read somebody's story, it looks like it's a highlight reel, but I'm sure there's some ups and downs, through that journey. Maybe what is sometimes you felt maybe discouraged or maybe down, and how did you overcome that?
I mean, I just got to be authentic. The biggest down I have is when it's really the story when everybody got indicted. I mean, it's very serious, but y'all know infamously all of the Treyway, all of the Tekashi 6ix9ine thing that I was with. Being so close to that and being such an intricate part of that machine and moving, and then all of a sudden, just one day, everybody, all of my friends, my whole team, everybody's in jail. You just got to understand it's not that easy. So it's like you get fired or the job blows up. There's just no more job. You get what I mean? So money stops, touring stops, dates. I had 23 dates booked in Europe. I had 14 dates booked in South America, and everything just stopped. So nothing goes more than that down. Everything else was kind of easy to deal with, but then because we were so trolly, in a polite manner, we weren't everybody's best friends because of, all of the shit that Tekashi used to do to troll people and shit like that. So when everybody went to jail, I was getting attacked, like thousands of comments of trolls and all that. And that was like every day waking up to it. So really all I just did was I logged off for a bit and I just went outside. And sometimes you just got to kind of feel real life. You know what I mean? This internet shit is super cool. And all of us kind of got some internet fame to us. And I got a big YouTube following, all that shit. So what happens is sometimes that we get so absorbed in our own celebrity as is, and we forget that there's a real world. Like you could literally go outside, go to the mall. I mean, not now, because now it's like a fucked up scenario. But quarantine time, outside of this, go to the mall, go outside and just see people and see the fans and interact. And then it just kind of like felt more normal. Like, oh, these are like kids from middle America that will never meet me. And sometimes we got to just separate ourselves from our own little caves that we're in and kind of just go outside. So that's how I overcame it. That was it. So the down was when everybody got locked, and the overcoming it was just kind of like going outside, because it was just a overwhelming thing to just stay in that world and then stare at social all day long. Your mentions will tear you up. If y'all have never been trolled, it is not a fun place to be in. I'm telling you.
Well, I work with a character named Jason Lee, so I'm used to getting a few hate mail every once in a while. So I definitely understand. Sadia, do you have a story you want to share?
About being discouraged?
Discouraged,
yeah. Yeah, in general, as you all know, entrepreneurship can be super aggressive. So I think it was maybe like year 3 of entrepreneurship for me. And I just remember feeling like I was doing everything right. I was doing all that I could, but like just things weren't turning over for me, like clientele, like, just marketing, exposure, everything that I was investing in wasn't working. And it was like really discouraging, especially like when you put all your eggs in one basket and you're watering it and you want it to grow. But the biggest thing that like helped me during that time was really staying the course, like it's so crazy just seeing my journey now, but like had I given up at that time and had I, quit and not kept going, I wouldn't be this far, So a lot of times people get discouraged on their journey and where they are. And, in this day and age with social media, it's so easy to get caught into comparison. This person's doing this and, this person's doing that. But we all have our own journey. We all have our own time. So when you stay the course, you know, you can really reap the benefits of the hard work you put in. And even in this Corona time, like, I've learned that it's not about who's the smartest. It's not about who's the strongest. It's about who's the most adaptable, you know? Like, the way you can adapt with different times is what's going to help you keep going and stay relevant.
No, I love that. I love that. And I'm going to share a personal experience where I felt my most down. Probably was about 2 years ago. And this is when I was let go from Revolt TV and my job at the radio station. Now, at first, you know, I thought it was like, okay, cool. Of course I could find another job. I've been working since I was 16 in the entertainment industry. And I was never really able to bounce back. But during that time when I felt down and I felt defeated and I felt kind of like worthless at a point because I felt like no one wanted to hire me. And this is when I started my entrepreneurship journey. I didn't need anyone to hire me. And I learned to start moving my own feet and make things start happening for myself. And that's how I started my entrepreneurship journey. And it's incredible because I have people like Mal here, Sadia here, Randy here, Latrice here, Punch here. You guys have been living this lifestyle. I've been television host, radio personality. This is me being on my own for the past 2 years. This is my first time being on my own. So I do want to start talking about entrepreneurship because with this quarantine shutdown, a lot of people are now being forced into that direction. So I want to get you guys advice about entrepreneurship. I want to start with Mal, and I want to get everybody's perspective on becoming an entrepreneur and some things you should look out for when you first start.
Nah, bro, that's real. And so we kind of started around the same time. I think I started maybe a little bit before you, but like even me leaving Revolt, like that was a whole mentality switch from like deciding to go from a 9 to 5 to just start something from scratch, honestly. And so like the first thing, like you said earlier, is just like your mentality has to change. Like you gotta want it bad enough to learn more every day, to understand, you know, what it's gonna take to work countless hours. You're not working 9 to 5 no more. You're working like 9 to 9. You know, doing research, hitting people up, getting turned down, losing money left and right. So it's just you gotta be prepared for that mentality. And I tell people all the time, like a lot of people not built for just the entrepreneurship life, and that's cool too. And if you're not built for that, you gotta figure out, you know, how can you get a foothold in it so that when times like COVID comes, you have something to fall back on. You feel me? Like you have something, whether it's in the digital space or whether it's wherever, that can make you income. You got like multiple streams coming in. So I think that's honestly where to start. And then look at, you know, what people want from you, or what people want in general that you can profit from, and as well as give back to. So.
Absolutely. And like I said, y'all could jump in whenever y'all, I want to hear from all of y'all. So, you know, about this entrepreneurship journey. I'm only 2 years into it. You know, Randy, you're the owner of a radio station. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for me personally, it's been 6 years. So I started my radio station 6 years ago. My first streaming app came out 6 years ago. And the first thing that I realized was a lot of people that I worked with, because I come from Radio 1 Detroit.
Okay.
And I don't come from hosting. I come from sales. Basically, I learned how to sell radio. And one of the first things I realized when I started my radio station was I positioned myself to kind of be their competition, and they treated me like that. And I was like, at first I'm like 25. I'm like, oh, you know, these are my friends and this is going to be great. And it's like, oh, I'll be able to get access to this concert still. They'll still give me these tickets and do this. All of that stopped. So I had to get out and really kind of figure out how to maneuver on my own, how to, you know, get these relationships going on my own with venues and different artists to be able to get interviews and whatnot. Because it's really easy to get an interview when you're working at a corporation. Like, that's your job. That's what they're going to do. They're going to come interview with you. Whereas when you're on your own, it's like you got to pitch yourself. And you have to really be like, yo, this is who I am. This is why you should come rock with me. This is my influence. So just staying consistent, for real. Staying consistent. And another thing is stay encouraged. Like, for me personally, I've had 20 doors closed in my face and maybe 2 open. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to stay encouraged through that. And when I found myself being discouraged, I would take a break. You know, not like to say, oh, I cut the radio station off. Never did that. But, you know, your mental health is still your wealth, and you still have to pour into yourself when you're an entrepreneur. A lot of times people are like, oh, it's 24/7 work. No. If you're working 24/7, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Give yourself a time to take a break and know your industry. Do your research, do what you're doing, and know what you're doing. And my last thing would be, it's okay to refocus that goal. When I first started my radio station, it was like radio station, radio station, radio station. But what I didn't realize was, yo, you build an app and you've promoted this app and you've had over 50,000 downloads on this app. And you probably could teach people how to promote their apps, market their apps, and you probably could build apps for other people too. So that kind of put me in a space to help other people. So now I develop apps. I teach people how to, get subscribers on their apps, how to get people to advertise on their app and things like that. So it's okay to rework that goal too.
No, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, who's up?
Go ahead, Derek.
The lady, of course.
Okay, yeah, no, I just want to piggyback on what she said in terms of mental health as well, because it made me think of two things. Because, the whole, I think everybody has their own ideology, you have to work 24 hours a day in order for it to work. And if that's going to wear you out and you're not going to be in a good place, you're not going to produce anything good. Yep. I love Steve Harvey to death, but he once said, he doesn't sleep. Well, congratulations, sir, but that doesn't work for me. Because if I don't sleep at least 10 hours like a 6-year-old, I'm a piece of shit. So again, it's really important to do what makes you feel good and what's healthy for you. Because if I went around and was like, I'm going to start sleeping 4 hours, I'm not going to book jobs. First of all, I'm going to not look good, and I'm not going to feel good. And something else that for me as an entrepreneur, first of all, I've been an entrepreneur forever. I never had a normal, regular job. I've been freelancing forever. And I know that's not for everyone because of its instability. So one thing that I did since I was 18 was saving money. And I wanted to talk about financial literacy because I moved to LA 2 years ago, and I made sure I wasn't going to move until I had a certain amount of money saved, because I know the kind of person that I am, that if I am in a predicament where I'm not making money, I'm not booking, I don't want to be like, oh shit, I'm struggling, what am I going to do? Because for me, that level of stress and anxiety does not put me in a place to thrive. Again, that could work for somebody else, and that's wonderful, but I think you really have to realize where do you have to be to thrive, whether it's in your mental health, your physical health, your financial health. You really need to learn yourself, because if you're not in a place of peace and being grounded, it's really hard to sprout these roots and to flourish. That was a pretty good plant analogy how I did. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there. But to that point, everybody's making great points, and I think that the universal theme that we're all touching on is knowing yourself. Know that what works for you or what works for somebody else. That's why all throughout my career, I never watched anybody else. I never was concerned with how much they were getting paid or who they knew and how they so cool with it. I built my own relationships. You got to foster those relationships, genuine ones, because we know that the industry that we're in, you meet somebody, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to talk, and then, just that talk. But for real, if you have some strong relationships from the day that you started to grind with your craft, that relationship could come full circle 5, 10, 15 years down the line. There's so many people that I've been cool with for 15 years, and now they're in positions to be able to help my brand, and I'm able to help theirs. So I would say developing once you decide to become an entrepreneur and really pursue this dream of yours and your passion, I'm sure we all have a layer of thick skin, but get that crocodile skin on top of that, because a lot of times there's some things that we might want to take personal, but then we got to remember that we're representing something bigger than ourselves, like a TV network or a radio station or whatnot. So I would say at Morgan State University, when I served as Mr. Morgan State, that was the first time that I really, really, really realized that what it meant to represent something bigger than yourself. No matter if you're at the club and you're still being a normal 18, 19, 20-year-old student, but knowing that me as the representation of the school, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So much is given, much is required. So that's always been a mantra of mine that has got me this far, thank God.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Nah,
Right
that's
there.
lit. Let me say something. One thing that
Go
you
ahead.
said, and I'm not against it, but like I came up almost the opposite because he said something like Flexa. He said he ain't pay attention to what nobody was doing, and for some of the panel, because there's different personalities. You get me?
Yeah.
I watched every motherfucker over me, every single one of them.
See,
I
that
studied
works for you,
every
and
single
that's
move that they did, and I'm not mad at. Hell no, this ain't right or wrong. It's just the difference because it's just like I watched every single one. I wanted to see who was in the lane, how they operating, how the fuck they got there, why the fuck are they still there. I needed to understand what were they possessing that I wasn't, why I wasn't in that lane. And what happens is that the thing that everybody is saying that's similar is you just got to understand what works for your personality. I'm a competitor. I grew up playing basketball. So since I'm a kid, I'm trained to like outplay somebody, to outwork somebody. I'm trained that way from a child. So my goal is I can't ignore what's there and just kind of like just do it. I kind of got to find that target and work at it. And another point that I think is super key is the whole reason why jobs work for people and why entrepreneurship is different is because some people don't know how to structure shit. So y'all gotta learn how to structure some form of a job atmosphere. You get me? So I never had a job either. You get what I'm saying? So like I never did that shit either. But my shit was I functioned. So I was up at 7, 8 a.m. So I was in the club, I was doing the DJ shit, I was doing the promoter shit, I'm with all of the rappers, I'm doing all of the ratchet shit you could imagine, but I was still up 7, 8 a.m. And the way that I was able to do that was I don't do drugs, I don't really drink like that, never smoke. So I was able to balance my shit out to where I wasn't dying, to where those 2-hour nights wouldn't destroy my body. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we kind of got to give and take.
No,
but everybody that's in the chat, not really the panelists, because the panelists kind of are already starting to figure this shit out. But for the participants that's in here, create a job atmosphere for whatever you're trying to do. So if you're trying to sell some shit, figure out how to run that as a store. Even fake be your own manager. Like if I was managing myself, would I allow myself to be late? Would I allow that 2-hour break? Would I allow me to just jump on the phone and bullshit for a while? Like just run your shit like a job, and that'll be the best way to kind of structure your entrepreneurship, because it's really about the focus that you put on your shit, because nobody can boss you if you're an entrepreneur. You get what I mean? Flex is kind of talking about kind of when you're lit and you made it, and it's like you're a representation, but there's mad people. By that point, we're lit. When you already represent something, you lit. Like you already kind of fake one already. You get what I'm saying? For the people that can't get to the win, it's really about how do you structure that shit while you're building to get to that point. You get me?
No,
And then punishing yourself if you don't follow the rule. That's another thing. You get what I'm saying? Kind of almost structuring yourself. Write yourself up.
I love this right here. And real quick, what I want to do is I want to tell everybody, all my participants, because a lot of people are coming in as this is going. We're going to do the Q&A at the end. So please write down your questions, have an intelligent question ready. And also no double layered question. Please just have one question at a time. Thank you. But what was dope is I seen the connection between Punch and my boy Flexa. Even though y'all had two different ways of looking at things, the commonality was determination. You know what I'm saying? Right. You guys were both determined. You were determined so much where I'm checking out the competition. I'm looking up the people. I'm seeing what they're doing. Flexa, you so determined that you're in tunnel vision. So I feel like what stood out to me is be determined. Like anything you want to do, you have to be hungry. You got to be relentless, and you got to be determined. Another thing.
I used to see Flexa. How about that? How about that part? I used to go out there and be like, oh, he's the man out here? This is how y'all do it? So he's the man? This is who we got to beat? This is it? I know that Ciroc boy shit is cool. I was watching. I ain't one of them. I seen it.
I think Punch.
One thing that Punch said that really stood out to me is something that I actually tell my clients as a life coach when they're getting into entrepreneurship is you have to respect yourself as you would an employer. Like if you know you would get up and be on time to go to your office job or whatever at 8 o'clock in the morning, you have to respect yourself as an entrepreneur the exact same way, if not better.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, simulate. You know what it is to simulate the job. Like what I do, I got a room in my crib that's more of a serious room for me. So I just leave my bed and go to the serious room to almost simulate that I'm doing something different.
It's a beautiful thing because what you're showing is that your sixth sense has kicked in way earlier. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like your sixth sense as well as you're in tune with where you want to be 20, like you probably, do you do chronological, like 5 years? Like, do you set those kind of goals for yourself? For me, I kind of just go with the win. See, I kind of just get blown somewhere and then I maximize. Blown somewhere, maximize. You seem like you have a nice structure of 5 years this, and then 10 years this, which if that works for you, that's a beautiful thing.
I'll be on my target shit.
Yeah.
No. And hold on real quick, because when you started talking about structure, Punch, the first person I thought about was Sadia. Sadia, you got to jump in, because first of all, as far as entrepreneurship, I've been an entrepreneur now as a DJ, as a host. You know, Sadia, you're the entrepreneur, not only in the fitness lane, but as an influencer. And a lot of people are trying to figure that out. And you have tremendous structure. You have 5-year plans. You have 90-day goals, even with your social media. And I really want you to touch on that, because I feel like not only our participants, but the panelists can learn from some of the ways you structure your business.
Yes. So I think it was Flex that said it about kind of like studying the game. I think in general, once you kind of figure out your rhythm and you figure out your lane and you kind of figure out your talents, I think studying yourself is super important, you know? So the reason why I'm able to structure and plan and have 5-year goals and goals that I can actually hit is because I've studied my course as I've grown, you know? So like I watched year 1, I saw what worked in year 2, I saw what worked in year 3, I saw what worked in year 4. So all of it is still an algorithm, you know, like sometimes even in chaos, there's a systematic way where you're getting towards something. So I think the biggest thing that I would tell up and coming people who want to be an influencer or they want to be an entrepreneur is, in this journey, you always want to try to stay inspired. You know, like staying inspired is what is going to just help generate a lot of different areas, like monetary wise, creativity, but like just staying on your toes and watching what's new, but watching what's past. Like, I feel like there is a systematic way that you can get places, even if it seems like very chaotic. Like one season you may be focused on one area, one season you may be focused on another area, but once you've mastered each season, you put it all together and then you create a formula. So I feel like my structure comes from seeing the things that I did wrong, seeing the things that I did right, and then formulating it that way. And outside of, you know, staying inspired and staying creative, like someone said, I forgot who said it, but someone said just making sure that it makes sense for your brand and that it's adding value to what you're trying to build. I think that's super important, because a lot of times people just aimlessly shoot in different directions, but you have to make sure that it's making sense for where you're trying to go. And sometimes it does take time to discover that, but you want to make sure, like, how does this make sense for my brand? How can it add value? So
No,
you just
absolutely.
study yourself and build.
And
Yeah,
go ahead,
huge.
Latrice. I was just about to ask you a question. Go ahead.
She's saying, and you know, the fact you introduced her as saying she has, you know, 1 month goals, 90-day goals, year goals, 5-year goals. Like, you know, as you guys, you know, enter your entrepreneurial journey, the power of setting little goals is so powerful, right? So Dia can attest to this, because, you know, with an entrepreneur mindset, we're all super confident. The reason why we're all super confident is because we're used to accomplishing little goals, right? In the fitness, people want to lose weight, they want to get healthy, and those are great goals, right? But how are you going to do it, and how you do those, and how you build the confidence to lose weight and to work out is setting a goal, saying, hey, I'm gonna wake up at 7 o'clock tomorrow. I'm gonna eat a healthy breakfast. That's a realistic goal that you can truly accomplish. And if you do that over a 6-month period, your whole life will be different. So the power of small goals helps you build confidence. And a lot of entrepreneurs suffer with those confidence because they're dreaming too big. They're only making $1,000 a month. They're like, I want to make $100,000 a month. Well, that's good, but you know, you got to get to 5 first, right? Yeah. So the power of setting those small goals will help you guys build more confidence.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. And to just add on to what he said about setting goals, there is so much power in writing stuff down, you know? Like, the more you write stuff down, the more you can come back to it and say, hey, like, I still have this goal of mine and I still want to accomplish it. So yeah, like when you start off your year, or you start off your month, or you start off your week, the power in writing it down and physically seeing it on paper, or even, it doesn't even have to be on paper, it could be in your notes, but like having that goal there will kind of hold you accountable, because as entrepreneurs, yes, you can be motivated, yes, you can be driven, but you have to be able to hold yourself accountable. And so if you're not able to hold yourself accountable, then those goals can't be met. So like throughout my 5 years of doing entrepreneurship, I can go back to like 2016 when I wrote a goal down, and I can like look back and say, hey, like I accomplished that goal, especially when this journey gets discouraging, because we all know it's a roller coaster, right? So you could be real high one year, you could be real low the next. So seeing how far you've come along and seeing what you've accomplished is what can give you more perspective about what the future looks like, you know? Because if not, you can be so discouraged in this journey. Like someone said, we're all at the heights of our career and we're thriving and we're confident about it. But this is not for the faint-hearted. It is very, very difficult. And that's why a very small percentage of people make it. It's a combination of all those things. And every layer matters.
No, absolutely. And piggybacking off of that, not only is it hard being an entrepreneur and a new entrepreneur, but it's also hard creating that brand to ignite your entrepreneurship. So that's one thing I want to touch on next. Creating a brand, especially starting from the beginning. And I want to come to you, Mal, because this is what you do. You help people with their branding, from celebrities to big companies. In your opinion, what is a brand? And for somebody that's just starting, what are some things they should do to help establish that brand?
Man, honestly, the easiest way to describe a brand is, what are you known for? Like, right? So like, if I ask someone else, what am I known for? Like in this space, like if somebody looks at my social media, what can I tell? Like, what is their niche or their niche? How do you say it? But how can you like that's what a brand is, you know? And then you go from there and you try to, you brand yourself that way. And you figure out, how can I make sales from this? Or how can I gain traction from this? How can I get viewership, or whatever your goal is, to be, if you're an entrepreneur or if you're in a business, or you own a company or whatever, like what's your brand and what's your sales pitch? And so that's how I help. That's how I get people in positions to understand, from a sales point of view. And it doesn't always have to be financial. From a viewership point of view or whatever, if you're an influencer or things like that, how can you brand yourself, and in what lane are you branding yourself? For example, Damage, you're a podcast host, you're a media personality, you're a DJ. People know you as that. And so it goes like, what are you branding yourself as, and how do you market yourself and position yourself? And to start out, if you're branding yourself that way, you have to be sure to like put that out there, like it's a lot of people that say, oh, I'm a this, and I'll go to like their Instagram or whatever, and you won't see that shit at all. Like it'll just be nowhere. You feel me? Like you can't say you're a fitness coach, and say like you're trying to make money specifically directly through your Instagram, and you don't have it anywhere on your Instagram. And it's cool if like your Instagram like it's separate from your brand or whatever. That's cool, but you don't got a website, you don't got a brick and mortar business. Like wherever you're branding yourself, that's where you got to be at, and that's where you got to really get grounded with it. So that's what I tell.
Damage always says that. Always says, don't have no secret talents. Don't have no hidden talents. Because if you a DJ, be a DJ. If you a creative person, be creative, right? And show that too as well. Don't have no secret talents if you want to be successful in social media, because social media is meant for you to brand yourself and market yourself and give yourself a voice. And a lot of people even struggle to try to figure out what they're meant to be doing. It's just go do something, because you're always
nothing worse than life.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing worse than wasting time. And you always have two avenues when you make a decision anyway. You have the right one and you have the wrong one. So either way that you go, you're still going to figure out fast. If you go the wrong way, you're going to figure out fast that was the wrong way. If you go the right way, keep on going. So, just keep going, guys. Don't have that scarcity mindset. You don't have no hidden talents.
I think in terms of branding, two things. One, it has never been more important to be a brand. Whether you want to be, specifically for me, I'm a TV host, I'm a TV personality, and people want little experts in a field, right? There's very few generic hosts. Like, so I'm prevalent in the food space, right? So if they're doing a food show, they don't want, oh, I'm just a host. No, we want to be able to go back to your Instagram and see that you post recipes, see that you're always cooking. Like, so it's so, especially even as an influencer, whether you're a micro or a macro influencer, because for instance, Pepsi isn't going to sponsor you if all you do is talk about sneakers, because we want, you know what I mean? Like, even if you're an influencer, having a brand is so important. Also, it has never been easier to become a brand, because bruh, all you have to do is do semi-consistent posts on your social media about whatever your niche is. That's it. It's not even hard. Like there's literally no excuse. I actually want to touch on, somebody commented something that I really resonate with. They were like, it's hard for me because I dabble in so many things. First of all, I understand the struggle because I myself am multifaceted. And there's two ways to look about this, right? Because no one wants to sell themselves short. No one wants to be like, well, I'm an amazing dancer, but I'm an amazing chef. How can I do both? I don't like when people tell me I can't do things. So for me, do both and see how they can seamlessly intertwine. I mean, like, so I've been a culinary personality for years and I love it. Food is great. People come to me for food, but I do comedy too. Those things don't usually coincide, but I'm making them coincide. So you need to really figure it out. And again, we have so many outlets. You have YouTube, you have Instagram. You can take a picture with you holding a mango and a microphone doing stand-up. Like, it's that easy. You know how easy it is to convince audiences of what your niche is? It's not hard. That's it.
Go ahead.
So yeah, so you said Mal, works with people and brands. So a lot of questions that I get from, my followers and things like that is, I feel like a lot of people struggle between what they're passionate about and what their gifts are. So you mentioned like a fitness coach, right? There are a lot of people who I teach a trainer's course where I teach other up and coming influencers how to be fitness influencers or be a personal trainer. So there are people who are super passionate about fitness and they want to dive into health and wellness, but sometimes when I'm mentoring them and I'm coaching them, I realize that that's not their true gifts. Like, they're really good in other areas. And if they pursue those other areas, they would actually be a lot more successful than, what they're trying to do now. So what would you tell someone who is like passionate about something, but they may have gifts in other areas?
Ooh. All right, so I'll speak on myself personally, right? When I first moved to LA, I was just talking about this. I had a clothing line. It was doing very well. It was popping off, but I realized my passion lied in not particularly the clothing aspect, but all the other pieces that went into it. So like building my own brand, understanding like photography and taking my own photos, doing my own website, doing the own designs and like all those hard skills I picked up across the whole time. And I realized like, I'm really passionate about building brands. And so I made that transition. And I still do make clothes, but I make them now for other people, for clients. I do like merch design and stuff like that. I sell that skill. On top of that, I realized like, I'm great at photography, videography, graphic design, web design, branding, marketing, but I can't market myself as all 6, 7 of these things on my page. Like, it's going to confuse the hell out of people. So what do? So I establish a business, hire creative consulting that does creative work. And that's a brand outside of my brand that I can brand completely. And now I brand myself as like an entrepreneur. So, it's really strategic. Like, you got to think like, if I'm me or if I'm whoever, how can I brand myself in a way that's not going to confuse my followers, but that's also going to drive sales, awareness, and, show interest, and also show that, I'm skilled and I can do what I'm trying to do.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense, because look, I could want to be a rapper, right? I could be super passionate about rapping and want to get into the music industry, but if I'm trash, right? So, what you're saying is you can still be innovative and like, now you could potentially write raps for other people, or, you could just still stay in the industry, but not directly be and do exactly what you want to do.
Songwriter,
Yeah.
Supervisor, whatever. There's other ways to be around, doing things. And you might not be the best videographer, but you might have a great eye for video or whatever. So you put yourself in a position to make it make sense for you,
Yep.
Yes.
I like that a lot too. And also with like making it make sense, like kind of what you're going off of, because I believe truthfully that everybody has multiple talents or multiple interests. And it's also knowing when to do what. A lot of people are just starting and they're trying to do 10 different things at one time. Right? You want to really be a sniper when it comes to entrepreneurship, and not saying you can't do multiple things, but get your foot in the door in one thing first and really figure out if this is for you and how far you can go. And then you can be able to do something else. right? So go as far as you can see, and then when you get there, you can see further, right? So I tell people, if you have multiple talents, that's great. Well, start knocking them down like dominoes and see which one's still standing.
Exactly. I think that what everybody's saying is that a lot of times, especially the generation that we're in today, it's a lot of instant gratification seekers, meaning people want to be the man or the woman tomorrow when they don't realize that you gotta start from somewhere, and this is a journey. This is a pursuit. I always say I never want to reach the place in success. I fall in love with the pursuit more than getting to the finish line, because I feel like, to be honest, we're not playing for a finish line. We're playing forever with our gifts and our crafts that we're doing, because at the end of the day, it's always good to be a student of the game in my eyes, because no matter how far you're going in life or how far you have come, there is a person or two that is looking at your spot as where they want to be. So one thing I always see as interesting is that Denzel Washington still takes acting classes. And we know that Denzel is a GOAT. And apparently Denzel Washington still makes it in his schedule to make sure that he has acting classes. So I'm just going to leave that there. Never think that you're too far in your bubble that you can't learn from somebody else. Ego kills more people than any other disease in the world. Remember that. Ego.
Yes.
If you
definitely a marathon.
If you put the ego to the side, you'll see how people will be more warm to you and more welcoming. Somebody had said to the point of trying to do a million things, you gotta hone in, because what that shows is that you're not loyal to anything. If this popped tomorrow, then okay, now I'm gonna fall in love with it. Most times people pop and blow up because it's the passion with it. Don't just try 10 different things and okay, now me sewing stuff that works. Okay, now I'm gonna run with this. You gotta know it in your heart. Like I think somebody said it earlier, to know yourself. If you start there.
And I think we have to stop like focusing on what someone else is doing to become successful and to be successful. A lot of the times, we'll be like, oh, that person has a t-shirt line and they became a multimillionaire off of it. I can start a t-shirt line. That should inspire you, but that shouldn't be your own drive. That shouldn't be like your main motivation behind it. Like, I feel like a lot of the times we get so caught up in what this person's doing and that person's doing because of stuff like social media. It's like we have to remember to tap into what our natural talents are. Like for, I think it's, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce it, but I think it's Sadia. You said something basically like, what happens if you're, you want to be a rapper, but you're really not that good of a rapper. Like you might be a better, like someone else said, a better writer. You might be a better writer or a better, videographer than someone that's actually in front of the camera that's an artist. So sometimes what I had to do was I had to take myself out of a lot of situations and ask myself, and it happened only because I got into a car accident. I got into a car accident 2 years ago, and I used to be in a pop rock band, and the band did great and whatnot. We were doing amazing, but I had to, it forced me to sit down. And in sitting down, I had to ask myself, well, Randy, what is it that you're good at and that you're naturally gifted at without having to rely on anybody else? What is it that you can do for yourself without having to worry about, okay, well, I need this person to do this part of the puzzle and this person to do this part of the puzzle. No, what job can you do yourself with your natural talents and actually get there?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think that that's something that we have to really, and it's hard sometimes for our generation because we get distracted like a little squirrel, we're all over the place, yes. But you got to focus in on what it is that you're naturally gifted at and grow that.
Yeah. And
now, no, go ahead, Sadia.
Oh, and just to bounce off of what Kashan said, I believe I said it right. He said that it's a marathon. Entrepreneurship is a journey, like a lot of times people hop into this game and they think that things are supposed to turn around in 6 months or, even a year. And sometimes it takes, 5 years, 10 years, like it really takes a long time just kind of watering that seed and watching it grow, and it grows in different forms and different layers too. And there was one more thing I wanted to say. Oh, social media. So we live in a very social media society where everybody wants followers and everybody wants clout, everybody wants to be famous. And as powerful as social media is, if you learn how to, gain value from it and monetize it, it can be very self-destructive. Like a lot of people, struggle with comparison and focusing on people's highlight reels and focusing on, oh my goodness, this person's doing this, or I feel like I could be doing this better, or why does this person do this? And honestly, I feel like people really sleep on that mute button, okay? If you are anyone that struggles with just comparing your journey and still wanting to be present on social media, there are certain things that you can do to censor your mind on it. You know, like there were certain times in my journey where I had to censor what I was digesting, because I feel like you're either a consumer or you're a producer when it comes to social media. You know, of course you can have that balance where you're, you know, gaining inspiration and stuff, but you're going to be doing more. You're going to do one of those more. So if you're trying to be on the producer side of it, you know, use it as inspiration, use it as a way to, you know, build your brand, but don't get so consumed in it to where you're not doing anything.
No, absolutely. And I want to take this time right now to open up our Q&A. A lot of people had questions as we were going along. Please use the Q&A section. Don't use the chat. And you were speaking on social media, Sadia, so we can start there. We had someone that's in our, I think his name is Gerald. He says, social media is so saturated. What are some strategies to stand out?
For me,
Everything is saturated.
well, that's facts.
Everything is saturated. Hair saturated, videography, fitness, but there's always going to be that one thing that helps you, you know, stand out.
I love
feel
that.
like
Consistency, I think, makes you stand out. Being consistent in your craft and making sure you're putting out the best content you can. The content that you know is going to be best representing you and your brand the best, but also that's going to get you engagement. Like if I'm putting out videos and the videos are like this dark, and I'm like, yeah, you know, guys, and no one like, no, we need to be able to see you. We want to, you know, we know that we got to get the facts of the situation. We got to, you know, we want to get good knowledge. Like if you're teaching people about cooking, you can't be like, it can't be all dark and you're like, well, yeah, this recipe and yeah, that, and I'm over here doing this a little bit. Show me what you're doing. Get you a nice camera. You get some good apps. It's so many apps that you can use to edit, footage, stuff like that. It's all about, for me personally, it's about the content and the timing. My audience knows if it's 9:00 at night, expect the video. You know, my audience knows that, you know, during the week, during the day, they're going to get promotions of my books. They're going to get, you know, me answering their questions and me answering their questions about helping them about what they're going through and whatnot. You have to build on what you have and be consistent in that.
Okay.
For me, it's just about being authentic as fuck. Like it's saturated, yeah, but how many Ariani Santanas are there? Literally zero besides myself, but also figuratively, there's no one like you. And that means for me as a personality, it's not always the prettiest, right? Like a lot of the comedy and stuff that I do, like it's like self-deprecating and it's just real. Like it's not this beautiful mansion. It's like, I love the 99-cent store. And people relate to when you're really keeping it real. I feel like that's one of the best ways to stand out, because it's so easy to be flowery and to do all this. And that might work for your brand, but for my personal brand, I notice that my audience reacts so much better when they're like, wow, I felt that. I related to that because it's real and it's not pretentious. So again, you're the only you. So how are you going to stand out? Just be you.
Yeah. And definitely don't let that discourage you. You know, every lane is going to be saturated. And again, I like to focus on, you know, why people are asking that question. Like, don't allow it being saturated to deter you from getting started, because you'll always run into some wall, you know, like there's always going to be some sort of similarity in every lane that you're in.
Look, I got a lot of good questions here, y'all. A lot of good questions. So let's keep it rolling. A shout out to DJ Crew, and I want to answer this too first and then open it up to y'all. It says, can an introverted personality thrive in entertainment? And I want to tell you firsthand, yes, it can. Because I'm a guy, Mal can contest, and I don't know if anybody else knows, I don't even leave the house. You can barely see me out. I'm the most introvert. Well, I don't even know the other word because I'm an introvert to the core. So yes, you definitely can succeed as a personality as an introvert. But just because you're an introvert doesn't mean you don't have confidence, doesn't mean you don't know how to broadcast and talk to people. So for sure, in my honest opinion, yes. And anybody can piggyback off of that if they'd like to.
Yeah, no, I love that right there. And you know, it doesn't matter whether you're introvert or, you know, the opposite, you can still be successful in anything that you do. But the number one thing that you have to do if you feel like you need to be an introvert or you need to be introvert is that you need to be adaptable. You need to know when to be, you know, your other self. You have to have many versions of yourself if you want to be successful. You have to get out of your comfort zone. Because part about being teachable is being, you know, coachable and also, you know, be willing to accept change, right? Everybody wants to be a DJ. Everybody wants to, you know, be successful. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. But are you willing to do the opposite of what you've been doing to get what you don't have?
Mm.
And
you
just
have
really
to ask
quickly,
yourself, are you genuinely, okay, you said you want to like possibly get into entertainment, but if you're genuinely an introverted person, because, and damage, I don't say this to be rude, but just because you like to sit in the house don't mean you're an introvert. You have a character that you go into and you turn on when it comes to dealing with people and whatnot. You just like to be in the crib because the crib comfortable. Introverted people don't necessarily interact a lot and don't like interacting a lot. So if you're an introvert, that goes back to kind of what I was saying earlier. What's some of your natural talents that you can tap into? If your natural talents aren't, you know, entertaining a room full of people or being able to go into character, you know, and saying, yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, the host of Oso Radio, and things like that. You know, tap into what it is that you're called to do. Like, just because you know, you might see other people being successful in entertainment does not necessarily mean that you're called to be in entertainment. Or it could mean that you're not called to be like the face of it, you know, in front of the camera or behind the mic. Maybe you should be a producer. Maybe you should be a journalist, like a writer or something like that in it. You know, it's other aspects of entertainment opposed to, you know, just being in front of the camera because you see other people being successful in that lane.
Ooh.
Nice.
Anybody got anything else to add? Because I do have some questions. I have more questions. Go ahead, Mal.
I was gonna say I'm probably the most introverted person here, you know. But realistically, like to piggyback off what Randy said, you gotta be able to know what space you're supposed to be in. You know, if you're introverted, your role might be behind the scenes, and you know, and even if you're introverted, you know, you gotta learn when to turn it on and turn it off. I think that's the most important part. Myself here, we speaking on a panel. I can't be sitting back all shy, hoping damage will call me. So you gotta learn to speak up. You gotta learn, you know, when to say what to say and know, you know, how to speak up and speak with intention and purpose. So
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I have another question. This one is coming from Sierra Reed. This is a great question. Is there such thing as being too nice in this industry? Now,
Yes.
I know everybody want to jump out, so let's go one by one. Who wants to answer first?
absolutely.
Okay, I'll answer first, and then somebody can piggyback off of me. I've considered myself being too nice throughout my whole career, and what it showed me was it gave an opportunity for people that didn't really know who I am. For some reason, it gave them the opportunity to think they can disrespect me. So, you know, there's one thing about being nice, but you can't be too nice where you're just trying to compromise for everyone's feelings. You also have to be stern in what you believe in and how you carry yourself. And it's been many a times I had to check people and they were surprised, like, oh, yeah, you thought I was a nice guy. I'm not a sucker, though. So I do feel like there is a way you can be too nice in this industry. So, of course, be caring, you know, be empathetic, but don't be weak. That's just my statement right there.
I think it's the difference between being nice and being professional. And a lot of times to kind of keep stuff chill and to keep stuff, you know, mellow, we'll kind of just kind of take certain punches and certain jabs. And it's just like, yo, that's not even who I am to even let you deal with me and talk to me and handle me that way. And, you know, you think I'm a hoe right now and I'm not. So it's a big difference between being nice and being professional. I think we have to find that balance with it.
yeah. Yeah, and just to piggyback off of that, yeah, I would say that I'm super nice and I'm friendly, but I'm super assertive, you know? So I think that it's important to set boundaries and have expectations for whatever lane and field you're in. So you can be nice and friendly and you can kiki with people, but when it's time for business, you can say, hey, like, this is what is required, this is what needs to get done, and you just have to, like, you know, stay true to that.
That's where the gift of to her point, that's where the gift of discernment kicks in. Like, literally, where you got to know what they, like, you got to learn people too. Like, is this somebody I'm going to have to frequent for a while where I need to learn their personality, or is this a one-time interaction where, okay, I got to pick my battles with that? I ain't like how they spoke to me because they took me for granted, but it ain't even worth it. Sometimes you got to pick your battles too.
And just for some tangible advice, if you are a person like myself who's not a fan of confrontation and wants everyone to think you're great, you get an agent and they make those phone calls that you don't want to make. Because then you're still a nice guy, you're still professional, and they take care of your shit.
Talk to her people. You want to
No,
talk
yeah,
to her?
that's true. Right. It's real good to have a middleman. You know, that sets a great boundary, you know, because then sometimes when you're the source of your business or your product, you know, there's too many emotions and feelings involved. Whereas when you have somebody speaking for you, you know, it creates a new level of respect where it's like, hey, you know, you have to take it up with this person.
Yeah, that's very true too, because I'm the agent that a lot of, you know, business owners call upon. And so when I'm on the phone, sometimes I hear a lot of emotional things, whether it's
What?
somebody, man, I used to go to high school with Damage. I'm sure he would give it to me for free. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's not going to do that. And it's also, you have to understand your value, right? A lot of people sometimes don't understand their values and they let people walk over them and let themselves be nice because they truly don't understand what they can give to somebody else. When I started understanding my power and knowing that, man, I'm super valuable. If I keep doing things for free and I keep, you know, just not getting my value back in return, it's going to take me a long time to get to where I want to go to. And it's going to be a lot more stressful. So you got to put your foot down and know who you are and what you have to offer and look how far you came. Because when you put all that together, that nice shit goes away. Like, you got to be very professional. You got to be super assertive. You have to know your goal. You want to be laser focused. Friends, families, went to high school together. You're my, you know, grandpa. I don't care. It's like, you know, you have to understand your value and you don't want to get walked over too much. Otherwise, you're going to be a doormat.
That's a good one.
I have another great question right here. Oh, you had something to say, Mal? Sorry.
I'm just gonna say people like you when you're nice, but people respect you when you don't allow no BS. You feel me? Like, because people are gonna, especially in this industry, people are gonna try you. That's just what it is. People are gonna see, oh, can I get him to lower his rate to X instead of this, or you feel me? Oh, can I get him to do this for free? So it's like you just gotta let people know sometimes. Put your foot down, like let people know you're not with the disrespect. Like, you're not willing to be disrespected or lose your integrity for that. So.
And the optimism in that, the optimism in what Mal said and pretty much what everybody's been saying is that don't be afraid to get got once. Like, meaning don't be, if it ain't gonna be detriment to your brand and all of that, like, but it's just a learning curve. Don't be afraid, because then you know what to look out for in the future on your steps of your journey throughout this business. So you'll be able to sense it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I see that coming, yeah, because that happened before. Like, so don't be afraid, man. Don't be upset. Don't think your pride is shot. You still the man. You still the woman. You still doing your thing. Don't let that get to you, because it's definitely a learning curve.
Absolutely. Another great question I got here is, what non-social media marketing practices do you find to be best or be most successful to build your brand and platform? So basically things outside of social media that you can do to build your brand.
Going to events. I had a quick one. Going to different events that you have nothing to do with and you got time, it don't hurt. You're not too big to go to this listening session or this, because that's where you touching the people, guerrilla style. Always keep that guerrilla style. I know social media is the biggest thing and that's the way to get it zap to zap, but it don't hurt to be in the building and be able to touch and feel and keep your ears to the street. So that's just my take on that. All right.
I'd say that, go ahead.
No, you.
I'd say that social media is not social media. Entrepreneurship is a referral-based business, you know? So all it takes is having that one in-person client in whichever form and, you know, kind of getting word out that way, you know? So, you know, don't lose sight of, you know, that in-person connection, because it's great to have online customers, but there's a different experience when you can see somebody in person, you know, you can experience their energy, you can, you know, service them in whichever way that you can. So I'd say definitely focus on referrals, you know, get one client and tell them to refer their friends and, you know, just kind of grow your network that way.
We are our own walking resumes, or we should be, right? We are our own walking brands. So, you know, like you were saying about going to events, networking, all those things are imperative. What are you bringing of yourself that you want to advertise? For me, I literally bring a pot of yellow rice when I go to a party because I want people to be like, who cooked that? And for me to be like, I cooked that because I'm the Spanish girl who cooks Spanish shit. That's very literal. You don't have to do that. But we are our own walking resumes. And don't be afraid to say, I actually, you know, I want to become a TV host. I have gotten myself some shit from dead ass lying. And I'll explain. Like, I will, this just recently happened. A really big producer asked me like what I was up to. And I lied. And I was like, oh, I'm writing a show based on my family. I wasn't, but he was interested. And now we have a meeting. You know, and that's a damn lie. Now I have to write a show. But that's fine. But don't, I know, I get myself into some shit. But regardless, we are our own walking resumes. And also, like, talk about yourself, you know, when you're networking, because I have no idea. I could be talking to somebody who is the CEO of the Food Network. Or we have no idea. Be proud of who you are and what you aspire to be and let that out there so people can hear it.
Absolutely.
And if you're in a smaller market, I think that I'm like probably the only one that's not in like the LA or New York market. I'm in Detroit. My market is not like you guys's. So networking here is a lot different. So I think a lot of my success outside of networking and whatnot comes from, you know, really grooming relationships with people that I've met from, you know, them coming in from concerts or random events or pop-up shops and stuff like that, and staying in touch via email. Like, you know, having a solid email list that you can refer to and that you can, you know, shoot information out to, or, hey, this idea, I'm doing this, or I'm working on that. For me, that works really well because we don't have a lot of networking parties that are, you know, beneficial. Honestly, it's a lot of fluff.
You want to be top of mind when that person think. I always say, consideration is a blessing in itself. To be considered. Some people ain't even a thought. So you want to be in that person's, you know, when they wheels are turning about an idea coming down the line, or you know, and then it just comes, just like what Damage did here. So let's give it up for Damage. Yeah,
I appreciate y'all.
Can I just tell a quick antidote about that? Because it combines two things: being top of mind and branding. The show that I now host, that is a fucking network show. This is a big fucking deal. Do you guys know how I got that? Was it my agent? No. It was the director of that show posted on his social media looking for a host that has cooking experience. Did I see it? No. But 2 people tagged me, and that's how I got that show. The reason I'm telling you this is because they knew my brand so well that when they saw the words host and food, they were like, oh shit, I got you. So that's why branding is so important. That's why being your own resume is so important. And that's why being good to people is so important, because both the humans that recommended me, I fucks with them. They fucks with me, you know? So anyway.
Genuine, yeah. Being genuine with people.
And feeding people helps. That people love.
I would also say groom your initial network, right? Like make sure you're reaching out to the people that are in your initial circle, because those are the people that's going to lobby on your behalf. You feel me? To bounce off what everybody else is saying, like that's what everybody's gonna rely on. You know, but when you do start going on social media, people are gonna be like, oh, okay, this is dope. He's been sending this to me via text. He's been sending me little branding tips via text. So I know he's skilled and he's an expert at this. So let me keep him top of mind for opportunities and things like that.
It's like the MASH circle. You remember MASH back in the day where the small, then it gets big, and big? That's literally life. Like focus on the 5 to 10 people, gonna turn into 20, 30, 40, 50, because everybody talking, we all talking every day. Everybody talking, and this industry is small. As big as it is, people in LA, Detroit, New York, DC, but this joint is tight.
Exactly. You even think about why Damage chose the people on the panel. It's for a reason. He probably saw us on the gram that day. He was probably talking to us, whatever. He probably got us top of mind for whatever reason, but you got to look at, just perspective wise. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I just wanted y'all to get everything out because I have more questions. Okay, this is from Adriana. This is a great question. A ton of employers want experience, but for someone who is starting out and doesn't have experience, how can I get the opportunity I need in order to land a possible job?
What's her field?
That is a good question, but let's assume they want to be. No, that's actually a good question. We will get back to you, Adriana. Put it in the chat what your thing is.
I feel like that catch-22 is so prevalent specifically.
Entertainment media. I'm sorry to cut you off. She's in entertainment media.
That's the thing. So that's a common catch-22, right? Like, listen, for you to be a TV host, you need to have 5 years of being a TV host, but then we need you to interview people that you can't interview. You know what I'm saying? This is a really common 22. You need to start either, again, we're spoiled. We can generate our own content. You need to start working for free, first of all. You most likely in the beginning are going to be working for free. When I first decided I wanted to be a TV host, again, I got my way into some weird, like, I connected with a bunch of people and I made some shit happen and I got my first job, but it didn't pay, right? But I got to interview people. So I said yes, because that's how I built my reel. So you really just need to finagle. That's a big word here. Finagle opportunities for yourself, whether it's you creating your own YouTube channel where you're interviewing your closest people. You have to just start somewhere, because unfortunately that catch-22, I think it haunts not only the media industry, but so many industries.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. I got more for y'all, man. Laura said, for an entrepreneur who is just beginning to create / develop a personal brand, would you guys advise creating all new profiles of social platforms, or just making strategic changes to their current profiles?
That depends. That depends on how the majority of your crowd or your audience. I'm an OCD person, so I like everything in one combustion. And even if I need to compartmentalize that, I need one hub and then give you, it's almost like a TV network, and then you give me different shows. Give me different shows apart, but what's the network? We know that Damage is DJ Damage. What is DJ Damage? He's the tree, while the branches are him a part of Hollywood Unlocked, him a part of this, that, the third. He's his associateship. I always say make sure that you're the tree, and then make everything else that you're doing, the branches coming out of that tree. It starts and stops with you. So.
I like that question. That's a really good question, and that's a question a lot of people face. You start over, or you grow what you have. And in my experience, I would tell people to grow what you have, because you want to be your brand. You want to be your business. So you want to start structuring what you already have into your business or into your brand. And what I would suggest is maybe you start on a different platform. So if you're on Instagram right now, restructure your Instagram up into your brand, into your business, and start posting new content. But then also go from Instagram, go to Twitter, go to Facebook, go to Snapchat, right? You want to branch out more rather than trying to change what you have, because your focus is not going to be just on one platform. You can only focus on, certain things. So if you have 2 pages for Instagram, 2 pages for Snapchat, that's going to just be too much. So just choose what you have, or structure it around who you are.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Sadia.
Oh, sorry. No, we can go ahead to the next question.
Okay. So this one comes from Judy, and this is a really good question. It says, utilizing your personal relationships in any industry can be a very confusing thing. How do you know when or if you should approach someone with working on something with you on your platform without turning them off, possibly ruining relationships? So basically knowing how to reach out to somebody for your new endeavor.
I think the first
try to make it where it's like you gotta pitch it in a way where it's a win-win. It's like you're selling it, you're the product. So yeah, you're trying to sell this person or this company or this organization to buy into you and whatever it is you're trying to present. However, you gotta make sure that it don't look like you're just trying to take. It has to be, I always say win-win sometimes are not, it doesn't end up equal, but you want to be in the ballpark. And that's where discernment comes back in. If you got on this whole deal, or if you're at least it's another step forward in the right direction for what you got going on. So
the first thing for me is closed mouths don't get fed. So what's the worst that can happen? You're gonna ask me if I want to do a YouTube channel with you. I don't. So that's cool. But now you got your answer. You can move on. You can live in peace. You can ask another person. That's probably the worst that's gonna happen. As long as you are respectful and polite, and like homie just said, trying to make things a win-win, there's no reason to say no. But closed mouths don't get fed.
Yep, and that's very true. And if you're going to approach somebody or someone's approaching you, you have to be able to understand that person's current situation, right? Too many people try to sell somebody with who they are instead of seeing where they can get value, right? So if I'm gonna message somebody, if I'm gonna message Damage, and I'm seeing like, man, Damage is a big, social media influencer, and man, he has a product, man, I'll say, well, I'm good at sales. So let me message Damage and say, yo, I can bring sales to your team. I can help double your sales. That's something that you want to figure out where the hole is, and then you want to put your value in there. That's how you're going to get somebody to listen to you, right? You really want to do product research on everybody and then know your offer that you're going to do. There's too many people approach somebody, like an influencer or a business owner, and they have nothing to say because they don't know the true offer.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of that, because I actually get that a lot. I think so. Definitely studying who you're asking, a favor from, or a business relationship. But I do think people need to learn how to passively get in the door. I think that like investing in someone's business in some form is the greatest way you can passively get in the door. So if DJ Jamage has a media course and you want to work for Hollywood Unlocked, or you want to be around Jason Lee and stuff, if you become one of his students and you invest and you say, hey, like I've learned and I've done this, and then you reach out to him like, hey, Abdul or DJ Jamage, I've been in your course and I'd love to like learn more. Can I be an intern? I feel like when you show that you are invested and you bring whoever you're reaching out to value, it's easier to get a response, because I get a million DMs all the time like, hey, I'm trying to grow my following, I'm trying to be an influencer, I'm trying to do this. But like if I'm seeing that a million times all the time, I'm gonna get numb to it, so there may be some really talented people in my inbox, but I would never know because I'm seeing it really frequently. But the person who's investing like, hey, I've been to one of your events, or I purchased your product, or I did this, like in my mind, you're gonna stand out a lot more because I see the effort that's being put in. So I'd say don't be afraid to go out your way. Show these people that you're invested in what you're trying to learn, your craft, and I think you'll get a better response, because a lot of people kind of aimlessly shoot. They're DMing all these people like, hey, I have this great idea, like we could do work together and we could partner, we could do YouTube and all this stuff. But like someone with over 100,000 followers isn't going to want to do content with someone who has 1,000 followers. It just doesn't make sense. But if you show like, hey, I've done this, then, you can kind of get in the door that way.
To Sadia's point, personal touch, reel me in. Say something that out of all the hundreds of DMs, say something as I'm going through, say something that's going to be catching like, oh, how did they know that? Like basically bait me in. You have to bait us in so that we can even be interested. Because everybody's sounding the same. Everybody's trying to grind. Everybody's hustling. We get it. We're in the same position still, but on trying to transcend, right? So you got to say something that's able to reel us in. Like that's what I say. Stand out.
Yes. And just to jump off that point, so I put up a creative application where I was trying to build my team this year, right? And so many different people were trying to get in the door. But when you have so many applications, it's like, man, I can't, just as jobs, you can't go through all the applications. But the people who are knocking on the door and saying, hey, like, at this point, I'll work for free, or, or I can create your website for you, or, they're already saving me time. I'm getting them in the door. So they may have done something once for free, but now they're on payroll because they did that one thing to get in the door. So be aggressive with that approach. Don't be aggressive with saying like, hey, I just want to do X, Y, and Z. Like if you see that I need a new website or I need new photography, say, hey, can I shoot some work for you? Or can I see that you don't have a banner for your YouTube, like save whoever you're reaching out to time so that you can get in the door.
Yeah. And I'm gonna run down like 3 more questions because I know everybody's donating their time right now and people have things to do. So I'm gonna read 3 more questions that I already have. But to piggyback off of everything everybody's saying, bring value to the relationship. Just because you might want to do a YouTube and you want to collaborate with somebody on your new YouTube, you might not have value in a YouTube space, but there's something that you do that you can bring value to that person that you want to collaborate with. Dariani's a good cook. Maybe she can cook for my son. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? There's things you can do. You have to be creative and bring value. It's really that simple. If you want something from somebody, if you want them to bring you value, what is the value that you can bring them? You know what I'm saying? It's a bartering system. So I'm going to keep this moving real quick. Like I said, I know everybody is donating their time, and I want to thank all the panelists once again. I have a question from Garrison King. He says, how much has your identity, for example, race, ethnicity, gender, impacted the opportunities you have either pursued or received or not received? I think that's a great question.
As a woman, as a woman, especially, I just got married last year. So I just got married last year. I'm pregnant now. As a woman that's a radio host and radio station owner, I can 100% say that being an attractive female has hurt me and helped me in many ways. I know that a lot of people that followed me that's artists, like big artists, I won't name any people, but a lot of big artists that followed me and kind of was supportive and whatnot, really stopped being hands-on and supportive when I got married. Really stopped being hands-on and supportive when they realized, like, oh, this girl ain't about to give me no time and no energy and whatnot. But that's when I kind of had to reconfigure what I bring to the table. At this point, okay, you thought that because I was just a radio host, you kind of had a chance. But now that you see that, I'm an app developer and I'm an author and all of that as well, you might end up being my client. You might not. Either way, I'm good. I'm still eating. So it's helped, but it's also hurted. But it's also hurted. It also hurt me as well. But also being a Black woman in my field, owning a radio station and owning my own space has been also way beneficial too. Like, I've been able to inspire other people. I've been able to show other Black women that, hey, I can do this, you can do this, and also able to mentor them as well. So it's been beneficial and it's been hurtful in some ways, I guess, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And women, I'm in a very male-dominated field, very alpha male environment. And I think as difficult as it can seem at times, I think, talent speaks for itself. So if you continue to work on your craft and you continue to work on, whatever, your skill or your gift is, that's going to speak way louder than your gender or your ethnicity or any of that, because at the end of the day, if they're looking for the best quality or, the best performer, and you're, staying up to speed, they're going to go with you. But I'd say don't let it discourage you, definitely let it motivate you. And, I think for me, being in a male-dominated industry has actually taught me a lot. So definitely use it as a learning tool too, because there are certain things that men approach business differently that is very useful, and the same thing with women. So it is good to have different diversities and be around different energies, because there's a lot you can learn from everybody.
Yeah, I think, it's good and it's bad, like she said before. But it's like anything else. So if I'm trying to pursue comedy right now, I'm a cute girl. Nobody wants me to be funny, but I never, so as people of color, as women, we often have to work harder. Am I going to dwell on it? No, I don't have that option. I just have to work harder. That, and I use everything as leverage, and I take every negative and make it a positive. So as an example, I get a lot of really perverted DMs. So what did I decide to do? I don't just leave them there. I did a segment called My DM of the Week, where I have the DMs behind me and I talk about it, and people love it. So yeah.
Your public gave
That's
you a
great. That's great, yo.
Some of the bullshit I get. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do as minorities sometimes. That's what we got to do. Is it hard? Yeah. Okay, what are you going to do? You're going to be upset about it? No. Fucking figure it though.
But that's where that crocodile skin comes in, especially, and that's why hats off to y'all queens in here, because seriously, y'all thriving in y'all respective fields and being able to get DMs that are, derogatory, violating, and all of that, and be able to turn it into content to keep on boosting your brand. That's such a beautiful thing. Beautiful.
Definitely use it all to your advantage. Everything.
Yeah, it is. And speaking of crocodile skin, someone just asked a question. I want to find their name so I can shout them out. But basically what they were saying is, how do you deal with rejection in the industry? Punch, I'm going to come to you, bro. How do you deal with rejection in this game? How should one deal with rejection?
First, I want to just shout out to all my counterparts. I've been really quiet today because I'm learning. Y'all are so positive. Like, this is so, like, everybody got the good spin. And I just was like, let me just learn. I swear to God, I'm learning from y'all. I swear. Because I don't see so much of this shit the same way. So I'm like, let me just learn, be quiet, absorb. You get what I'm saying? Because I just see shit differently. You say how to deal with rejection? I say it's like this. I'm way more colder at this shit. Like, I think if you lose and you just constantly keep losing, yo, go do something else. I swear, like, I don't have the positive way to spin this. Like, some of y'all in here is not built for this. That don't mean like quit at life. That just means reposition what you're looking at. Like, I'm just keeping it real because the positive. Listen, my fault, guys. Damage told me to talk.
He said, "Quit,
Yeah,
give up."
somebody like, yo, man, just keep doing it. I hear all that positive shit. Fuck that. Some of y'all not doing the right thing. And if you keep losing, go do something else. Like, go figure something out. That don't mean don't be an entrepreneur. That means go do some different shit because it's not fucking working. Let me tell you something. In social media wave, you can see if you trash. You put some shit out and it just no views, you're not lit. I'm just being real.
You gotta be a realist and hard to critic.
That's why I be quiet.
I love New York people.
But
I swear, I love people.
Now, it's
from
not on New York shit. This is
right, but
rap. Hold on, I'm gonna be real. I'm from rap. Everybody here do different shit. I'm in rap. None of my friends are professional. None of them. All of it is just, it's like free for all until they get it's too free form. You get me? But let's get back to it. If you're trash,
but some people's perception of themselves is off.
That's why I'm gonna talk about that, baby. I'm so with that. Shout this out here. I'm with you. Let me tell you something. If your views is not lit, your shit not popping. If you don't got followers, you're doing some shit that's fucked up. Don't let them. Yo, man, you can do this shit. Hold on. I'm gonna get to a point. I'm not gonna be just all me. I'm gonna get to a point. What I'm saying is this. If it's not working, right? Change the model. You get what I'm saying? You said rejection. How do you handle rejection? How, right? What you got to do is you got to first look in the mirror. Why the fuck did I lose? You get what I'm saying? Like, why did I lose? Why did the job not come to me? Why was I not picked? And then go look at who got picked and go see what they do different. And don't be jaded. If their numbers is bigger, then they just more popping than you. You get what I'm saying? So then figure out how to get more popping. Don't just kind of, because a lot of times the rejection shit, everybody, no, they don't like me. No, you got to look at yourself, look in the mirror and figure out why your shit is not winning. Self-perspective, real life self-awareness. And social media allows so much like facts. Like if you put shit out compared to your percentage, if it ain't ringing, you can see. That's just what I'm saying. My fault. I'm gonna go back to listen to my nice people too.
No, that's real. That's real. But yeah, that's real. But like in self-awareness.
Make it nice.
Is
Make it nice. I'm mad at you.
Self-awareness is key. I'm telling you, because a lot of people like. So let's say somebody feels like they want to be a rapper, and they're like, honestly, I ain't get the job because they jealous of me. You know, like how can one become more self-aware?
You just look at your views.
It don't just work like that, bro.
I swear to God, that's why I've been quiet, because I don't get it. Look at your views.
Yo, Punch is definitely Punch is making a great point, because what's crazy is we all have different journeys, and our experiences is what helps shape who we are and how we behave. Punch is coming from a place I feel like I know Punch now. I know Punch's whole story now at this point, because of how he's talking of his experiences. If everybody in here, if you take just a little piece of everybody's sound bites, you're gonna have the whole formula, because Punch's own is a little bit more direct. And why? Because I'm sure that at a certain point in his career, somebody was direct with him and kept it real with him, and him being in tune with himself. That's just a perfect marriage. So everybody that's in here, if y'all take a piece of everything that our queens are saying in here and the rest of my fellas, this is a beautiful comedy.
Yo, listen, I worked side by side 50 Cent for 2.5 years. I ran This Is 50.com.
You gotta have a certain cadence to
I did everything. You know what I'm saying? I got 30-something million views on YouTube. I did all of this shit already. Let me tell you something. That's a cold motherfucker. You get what I'm saying? That nigga don't be nice to people. You get what I mean? Like, it just be real. He just be like, oh, that's bullshit. Get this out of here. Point being like this. You got to be so real with yourself and just let it ring. If you need help, don't be like, yo, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. Be aware. Figure out what's the one lane that you do. Target it. If that shit don't work, cool. Go look somewhere else. You just got to be more realistic. You get what I'm saying? Always looking at the positive side, sometimes it's just not the realistic side. You get what I mean? And sometimes just this entrepreneur shit is so trendy now that everybody want to be an entrepreneur. Some of y'all is supporting cast, and that's not bad. Stop trying to be the popular. You can make bread being a supporting cast. You know, hold up. My fault. My fault. But you could be rich being a supporting cast. You could be rich. Supporting cast is not whack. You're just not the front row.
Yeah.
You
You still on the team.
That is
Still
real.
on the team.
Managers. There's rich ass label owners. There's rich ass people that own companies that nobody give a fuck about. So everybody got to stop just trying to do the cool shit all the time and try to be in front row. You get what I mean? You might not just be cool. I'm just saying.
So, Punch, after punching us all, I appreciate it because, like, A, you're right, and B, what I took away from that is we have to listen, right? So you're saying keep your social media numbers. Listen to those numbers. Listen to the comments that you're getting or the lack of comments. That's how I deal with rejection, right? Because so as a TV personality, I don't book every job. And some of it is you got to listen. Wait, did I not book this job because homie's better than me? Or did I not book that job because they already booked their Latina, so they need to book a white person? Or this person got booked because they have $500,000. You know, you really have to listen to where the rejection is coming from. Because sometimes you do have to take it personal. Sometimes you need a punch to punch you in the face and knock you the fuck out with that honesty. But sometimes that rejection is just there because it's a part of life. There's 100,000 people that are trying to do the same job. So it's important to listen to why you're getting so much rejection and what the rejection is. I think that was the less aggressive way of putting it, but still but he's keeping it real, and that's fine.
You got to keep it real. And I want to keep it real right now. I want to thank all of y'all for donating y'all time to be a part of this. Thank you, Punch, Dariani, Mal, Kashawn, Randy, Detrice, Sadia. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this. Everybody, before we not getting off just yet, I need everybody on the panel to write your Instagrams on the chat so everybody can follow y'all and support y'all because we're all doing our thing. We all hustling out here. And for all my aspiring media personalities, if you're trying to get in the game, if you're trying to learn the ropes, if you're trying not to get punched in the face by Punch, I do have a course, man, legendarymediagroup.com. Make sure y'all check that out if you're serious about pursuing your goals in your career as a host. So make sure y'all put y'all IGs in there.
Yo, let me say something else. I ain't say that because I was listening to my nice.
Go ahead.
Yo, I said somebody earlier asked some shit about entertainment. Let me tell you how I got lit. I got lit because I forecast shit. Like you see how you speaking at the beginning? I'm the first person to ever interview designer. I went to the projects. I was in Brooklyn with my boy 3 weeks before Panda blew up. I was with him. When I was with Young M.A. in the trenches. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm with him early because I can pick and identify as popping. You feel me? I was with Tekashi before he fucking got rainbow hair. You get what I'm saying? This whole shit is not luck. But I was able to forecast that shit. So what I'm saying is like this. If y'all want to be in interviews and you want to do media, or fashion, whatever cool shit you want to do. Sometimes you just got to learn to be ahead of the game because people that's popping don't give a fuck about you if you're not popping because everybody doing view counts and clout awareness. Oh, you don't got no clout. I'm not fucking with you. Trust me. I do it too sometimes because it'd be too much mess. You get what I'm saying? Randy said that shit earlier. It's too much DMs. Can't even look through this shit. I think Sadia said that in fact. Fuck it. But I'm just saying like at the end of the day, it'd be too much DMs. I can't deal with it. So I sometimes do clout hovering. I'm looking at numbers. Point being, fuck with new people that don't got a wave yet and then build that shit up and then cross your fingers that it works. Because if it worked, then you lit. I got super lit because the game and the big homies was like every single time I say somebody hot, they blow so much that now I get paid for it. You get what I'm saying? So my thing is like this. Sometimes ignore the big homies. Ignore all that shit. Y'all not lit yet. They don't give a fuck about y'all. So go find the next one. Go find the next one. Go find that's not lit. Help them be lit and be a part of that wave. You get what I'm saying? That's how you do it. That's how you break a brand, break a company, break a record, break clothing line. Do that shit. You get what I'm saying? Like stand by something early and go crazy. If it's a clothing line, wear that shit every day and make that shit pop. Yeah. And then now you there. You get what I'm saying?
Be you long enough and they'll pay you to be you.
Big facts.
Absolutely. Look, y'all, make sure y'all follow Punch. Follow everybody on here, man. And if you're interested in doing anything in media, y'all need some advice, y'all can DM me at The Real DJ Damage. I do check my DMs. They are crowded, but at The Real DJ Damage if you're interested in getting more into this game. I want to thank y'all once again, man, for being on this panel, giving y'all time. I really, really appreciate that because somebody the other day told me because we're on quarantine, it's like, I know you got time. It's like, people in here that I know, everybody on this panel, I know has been hustling every day. I don't know no time off. So I was really disrespected. They said, I know you got the time. Why do you feel like I got the time? So I really appreciate y'all giving me your time right now, because y'all could be doing anything, working on y'all business, and y'all guys are here with me, and I really respect that, and I want to thank every one of y'all. Thank you so much, for real. And real quick, because we're not done, I need everybody to talk about what they got going on, because I know, Randy, you have a panel going on tomorrow. Sadia, you going live 3 days a week doing your workout stuff. So I need y'all to plug and tell everybody how they can be involved and stay in tune with what you guys got going on.
Yeah, actually, I moved my panel. It's a mommy brunch panel. It's next Saturday. It's me and about 10 other moms that are actual entrepreneurs, business people as well. So I have that. I told you guys I'm a 5-time author. I have one ebook about weight loss, how I lost 70 pounds before going vegetarian. I have a meditation book. I have a goal-setting workbook. I have a gratitude and affirmation journal, and I have a undated yearly planner that's actually a notebook as well. So I help people write books. I help people publish their books. I help people publish their apps, and I build apps. I own a radio station, so if you guys need help or want an internship or you want to start getting your foot in the game.
Come on, here it is. Here it is.
Hit me up.
That's bomb. Okay, Sadia, you go next.
Yeah, so yeah, my name is Sadia, also known as Simply Tone. I am in the fitness industry, and I do a little bit of everything. I am hosting live workouts, but I'm actually releasing product. So all types of fitness products that you can use from home or in the gym. We're kind of like doing all of that next week. And yeah, you guys just follow me for workout inspiration, motivation. I sell workout programs. I have 2 other social media platforms that you can follow as well too, to just kind of specialize in whichever fitness area you're in. So yeah, and I also teach courses. So I will be releasing a social media course. So yeah, you know, it's just an all-inclusive brand.
All right, guys. I am a TV host and culinary personality. My show, Struggle Gourmet, just got picked up on Fuse, so make sure to watch it once I can start shooting it so we can interact with people. And also, if you're in Jersey, stop by my restaurant, Cha 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 Cuban Cafe. And yeah, it's delicious. And if you just want recipe, so all my content is either giving you good feels because it's funny or food. So follow me on my social medias because that's what I'm here for.
And real quick, everybody, man, who's ever watching this right now, if y'all can take a picture of the screen and post this in y'all story, that'll be love, man. Because like I said, I really appreciate everybody giving us their time. I got people all over the world over here. We got the East Coast, West Coast, the Midwest is lit right now. Real quick, I want y'all to post. I'm gonna take a picture myself. But everybody that's watching right now, please take a picture, man. I'm gonna be reposting everybody. I put my joint in the chat, so if you take the picture, I'm reposting. But real quick, if I can get everybody to give me a little smile. Punch, you can smile a little bit. Okay, you can just keep that. Okay, that works.
Chill, man. I'm ice grilling this whole shit.
That's love right there. That's love.
Yeah, I would love to be on Punch.
What you working on, man? Detrice, what you working on? Keshawn, everybody, just let the people know so they can support.
Did all the ladies go?
Yeah, all the girls went.
All the ladies went, right?
Yeah, I think the ladies went. You
go
go ahead.
Detrice.
No, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll go. All right, yeah. So what's up, y'all? My name is Detrice Masumo. So what I do is I do a lot of sales training. So for people who are looking to actually learn communication skills, learn how to speak to people, learn how to, make money helping other business owners, because all these guys on this panel, they can't be in their DMs all the time, right? They can't, handle all the stuff all the time. So if you guys looking to still be working with these individuals and, help them out and they'll help you out, I do sales training, I do sales mentorship, and I also do personal development too as well. And I'm gonna give you guys some soft shit, but I also give you guys some punch shit too, right? So I do a lot of personal development because it's all in the thinking, right? So I help people and I help businesses with consulting too as well.
Absolutely. That's my boy Detrice right there. Keshawn, what you got?
So during this time, I've relaunched what actually really put me in the game, which was my own YouTube channel back in 2010. So this is 5 years in. YouTube started in 2005. When I was at Morgan State, we went down to Miami Memorial Day weekend with a camera and a microphone, and the rest is history as far as, you know, starting to get recognized around the country and doing red carpet. So I say that to say this quarantine, a silver lining that I was able to find in this quarantine, especially after my mom got better, was the fact that and to Punch's point where Punch said he likes to sit back and watch, I actually found myself doing that and being forced to do that the first couple of weeks during this quarantine. So it was eating me up because I couldn't produce, like give something, give an offering to the public. But also I got a chance to really watch that what everybody for the most part was really doing as far as going live. That was how I started as far as my essence. So now I rebranded and brought it back, Flex for the TV. So now with my relationships, I'm going to get interviews and whatnot. And I'm the biggest Martin fan in the world. So I found this time to do a What's Up challenge. That's going to be every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If we all like to relive our old pastimes, especially right now while we're, you know, quarantining and catching up on shows, whether old or new. Well, Martin will never get old. So for 1 hour, we're going to get our Martin show fix. I did it on his birthday a couple weeks ago, either a week or two, and it was a great turnout. And I was really going to leave it there, but people was like, nah, you got to keep that going every week. So that's another thing to you guys in here, everybody that attended this forum. You got to listen to your audience too. Like I was about to put that down, and then I got an overwhelming amount of response to say, nah, bro, we got to keep that Martin thing going. So the people win. So I'll be having that going. And of course, once we get back outside, you know, we'll get the brands back popping.
Hey, I told y'all that shit.
Yo, I love Punch.
Yeah, Punch.
I was watching that. How the fuck you got so much bottles, man? What's going on?
I got you. I got
Punch. Punch.
Punch. I got you.
Tell us what you're working on, Punch.
I mean, keeping it real. I'm just trying to be calm and cool and all this shit. I'm trying to get it. Nah, but on some real shit, I'm the lead producer of the new Showtime film. They doing the Treyway movie. I know everybody knows what's going on. So, you know, the Food Boy's home. So this is adding a bunch of fuckery and negative attention. And that's an interesting dynamic, you know, me being one of his best friends and that being one of my closest friends. And now we don't like each other. And now it's in front of the whole world. So that's pretty interesting. That's exciting to just watch it. I got a Netflix situation too. I got a 2-film deal with Netflix as well. That's pretty cool. And then when it come down to rap is lit, man. I'm just watching. All my young boys is popping. R.I.P. Pop Smoke. He from 4 or 5 blocks away from me. So I watched that up close. I helped make that shit work at the beginning, try to bubble it up, do what I do. Fabio is successful. Drake just did a song with my boy Fabio and Sosa Geek. These are my local friends. These are the young Brooklyn artists. I'm just happy to stand by it. Bobby and Rowdy is coming home in 5 months. You get what I'm saying? Coming home. I'm heavy GS9. So it's so much affiliations with rap that's going on. I'm just really just doing everything independent. Like I said, I used to work with 50 hand to hand, and then I just quit. I just like, fuck that. Fuck am I doing everything for him for? Like, I just didn't want to, I don't care. He's rich. He's rich. I don't give a fuck about that shit no more. Like, we got to look at it like this. I got to chase exactly what I want to do. I've done enough for another brand. So now I'm all about independently booming it up. I got my YouTube. I got everything. Now I'm just trying to pick and play exactly what I want to do. Like, honestly, like I did the interview thing and I did it and I found out it's a lot of fun. I did the DJ shit. And then I kind of got into this very big, you know, me and Damon talk about all the time. I ran into Funkmaster Flex. I had this big, enormous DJ battle with me and the Bozo. And that was cool and fun and shit like that. But these are cool things for y'all because competitively running into your idols sometimes is cool because you kind of test where you at, who can come out standing and surviving, and then feel where, you know, kind of what room you have. So I think that all I'm doing now is observing, figuring out where I want to continue back. But I think I'm going back into the interview world and managing artists, managing brands, and yelling at people if I think that they shit is fucked up.
That's cool. Mal, what you working on, bro? What you working on, Mal?
Bro, you know, I'm behind the scenes king, so we got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with different artists. A lot of artists coming out with releases and stuff, so we're working on that. Just working on like the personal brand. If you don't follow Hire Creative, I'll put it in the chat as well. But for people that's looking to get in the media, we do brand consulting, marketing, content development, all that stuff. So tapping in on that. We got some original content that we're working on with a couple of different labels and stuff. So
that's it. So what Mal is saying is if you need your EPK, your resume, headshots, anything you need creatively, Mal handles that, okay? at Higher Creative. He's going to put it in the chat. Once again, I know y'all got to go. Y'all entrepreneurs. Y'all losing money, but y'all spending it with me, so I appreciate y'all. Thank you once again. And for everybody out there, follow these individuals, support them. There could be an opportunity ahead. You don't know. It starts from support, bringing value, but support is first. And I want to thank everybody on this panel for supporting me. And once again, if you're interested in becoming a media personality, DM me at The Real DJ Damage. But that's it, man. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man, for real.
Yeah, and I can get y'all OnlyFans booming. You know what I mean? Holla at me.
Punch,
Get that moving.
Punch. You said that you're gonna go back to this interview. You got to get a podcast, bro. I'm sure all of us in here will be tuning into your podcast every day.
Damon says that all the time.
What I be saying, bro?
He said it all the time, but it's been this. My only getting lit was at a certain. I'm just trying to get it popping on here.
No, it's not even a joke.
I'm with you. We gonna talk. Now,
I get a tax vibe from you. Like, I hope that's a compliment.
That's cool. I fuck with tax. Free tax. I fuck with all the people that's in jail. It's sad, but those would be my friends. That's why I'm gonna be less aggressive and listen to y'all.
Fuck with all the people in jail. Jesus Christ, Punch.
I'm just being honest. They all in jail. Freedom.
Punch. Jesus, peace.
All right, y'all. Once again, peace, love, thank you. We're going to exit out. Punch, thank you. Detrice, Randy, Sadia, Kashawn, Mal, Dariani. Y'all know it's love, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Back to
Bye.
Part two.
Peace. Part 2 coming soon. Absolutely.
Out of here.
Peace.
I don't know how to get out of here.
Oh, man. Hey, for all the guys that's still here rocking with me, man, I appreciate y'all. I want to thank my panelists once again for supporting me and giving back to the aspiring media community. This is really a big deal. And once again, shout out to all my students that was in on this chat, man, legendarymediagroup.com. If you're interested in becoming a radio personality, TV personality, or podcast personality, and your network is your net worth, you see who all my friends are. You know, they work with me, they help me, they support me, and I really appreciate them, and I appreciate you giving me your time. So thank you once again, man. Much love, DJ Damage. Maximize your influence. We out. My phone is ringing. They calling me, but we out. Peace. Love y'all.